right, call to order this August 3rd, 2023 agenda review work session for the town of Selma. We have a few things to look over this evening. We are going to discuss, give some guidance on a streets plan that we've certainly been asking for a little while now. And we are going to have a conversation about where we are with sanitation. And then, of course, we're going to look over our agenda for our August 8th regular council meeting. So with that, let's go into talking about some streets. We have asked for a little while now to get an overall streets plan together. Quite frankly, we need to take a look at where our stop signs are, where our stop lights are, speed limits, cleaning up the current signage we have. So I first, staff, do we have any recommendations that we want to throw out first, or do you want us to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking for and go from there? Very good, very good. So the very first thing, when it comes to stop signs, I do particularly PD, fire. I want you folks to consider where can we put four-way stop signs, and how many is too many, or is there never enough, particularly when it comes to neighborhoods. And Chief, if you want to come on up and address some of that, please, by all means.
Go ahead and you can chew on some of this stuff. I've got map.
My man's got maps.
Thank you.
The
All
map
right.
has bullets in yellow. These are just suggestions.
Thank
They're
you.
broken up in the area 1, area 2, area 3 zones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'll be glad to answer, or you can just take a look at it.
This is what we need, Chief. Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Very good.
I could use play away in this as well.
Man, you don't have to give him credit. Come on. Thank you, Major. Thank you. Yes, this is what we're talking about.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
If anybody has heard, number 4, Noble in Buffalo, has anybody heard anything in the past couple of years about the roundabout there?
Yes. It is currently in the STIP as far as NCDOT is concerned. Of course, it was kicked to the side with COVID. So that, in fact, I think I recently got a map of that roundabout work. So in fact, I'll send that out to everybody. But it is still in the works, and I can't wait
Yes,
because.
it's gonna be great. I know before COVID, it's supposed to be finished in 2021.
Right.
So, that is.
I ask about it all the time.
Yeah, I talked to you about that not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause you go to the end of that street,
Oh, yeah, I mean, if it's mornings and evenings, you might well just.
Hang
yeah,
it up.
usually I go in front of the police department, take a right on 70, I don't even go down Noble.
And while we're on it, let me do give props to NCDOT, because they really have gotten back on the stick with a lot of these projects that have been set to the side. I mean, Noble Street alone is an absolute blessing with the repaving of that, so.
It's phenomenal.
With that, I do know that it has been asked, Councilman Overby particularly, wants us to still look into a stop light at the Rudy. So if we can explore that, get us a real idea of the cost there,
Yeah, I've reached out to them.
that's what I'm talking about.
Also, the roundabout already working on a plan with them to move our power line time, do power lines that way.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Shook. Perfect.
Thank
You
you.
don't hear from me like you
So if we put the stoplight there, then we could, I suggest we take down the four ways at the post office.
You said take down the four-way if we put the stoplight up?
Yes. Go back to a two-way.
Yeah, we'll consider. We'll
For
consider.
emergency response, I would say, other than a few special things, if they're block to block, that is a tremendous delay.
Mhm.
We avoid Oak Street, not this four-way, but
agree.
Speed complaints coming down there.
With,
Most of the speed complaints are 6 and on, what we receive our
right, right. Very good.
So let me follow up with a little question. You says the complaint area then. So since we put the four ways up, what's the increase of the citations? Have we gone up any?
We've written citations, the 4 ways of help, I've had positive comments, the ones that went up on our last week.
Mhm.
You go knock on doors and several residents that see that, get up there.
I'd say the drivers are complaining where it gets, that's not a good deal. The homeowners are happy. I'm about to drive it.
I've heard the same. So we'll take this and digest it a little bit, and maybe we'll actually revisit revisit, of course, the stop sign conversation. So the stoplight, can you just send us, email us some numbers?
Yeah, as soon as I get that, a lot cheaper if we, as the town, put up wood poles, kind of like the temporary across from the general store.
Mm-hmm.
2 poles kind of down the sidewalk, holding everything up versus the metal freestanding structure.
And of course, get us both
Yeah,
numbers.
more decorative so we can compare.
You know, these guys are fancy,
Oh, yeah. Well,
so.
I like the
I see.
Not too flashy.
So, definitely, that information, fantastic. Also, I mentioned earlier to Chief McDaniel, the stop signs that are on either side of the tracks on Railroad, Martin Luther King, those seem like the most horrible place to put a stop sign. So, it seems like you would need to flip those and actually have those stop signs on Martin Luther King and on Railroad versus on, is it Massey or is it Sumner? I think it's Sumner they're on.
Right, you get out railroad streets, they're backwards.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
it. So, yeah, it's on Sumner. Yeah, corner of Sumner and Railroad, corner of Sumner and MLK. So I know certainly,
Change each block.
yeah, we need to change it on the block. That's right.
Yeah, I've almost gone through the windshield.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's something we certainly need to look into, and we'll mark that mapping as well. There has been a conversation about whether or not we would change the 25 mile per hours to 20. I personally don't see why we would do that. 5 miles an hour, I don't think makes a big difference at that point, but what do you folks think?
Not for the cost.
Anderson Street gets up to 35.
Yeah, and that's the state that
See,
marks that.
that to me, that's excessive, 35 miles an hour going down that road.
So that being a state road, they decide that's 35.
Yeah.
When you get to River, it stops being state and it becomes town, and then it drops down to 25. I know there was actually a specific request to change that from 25 to 20,
Yeah.
but
We have 15, 25 mile per hour streets in Selma.
mhm.
Selma has already put 0 on Anderson Street to make it without our cars.
Oh,
Well, Chief, let me ask you, do you think it would make a difference, the 5 miles an hour? Okay. Well, like I said, maybe as we're tagging more people with the stop signs and the speed and the radar training, we'll see how that pans out versus changing all the 20s to, or 25s to 20s.
Maybe Rankin Street as it grows, if you want to make this downtown later, district portion
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. And we don't currently have that much signage up on Rayford as it is anyway. So maybe that's something to consider while we're discussing this full-fledged plan as well. Thank you, Chief, that's a good point. Okay. Any other areas as far as stop signs, speed limit signs are concerned? I think, and this covers it incredibly well, so this makes it easy. Now, as far as our plans changing out street signs, anybody have a remote update on where we are with that, how we want to approach that?
You talking about the store,
Nice blue, Jim.
I don't have a time frame for it, and just move forward to the other, everything there, so I don't have any time frame, I wouldn't think it'd take very long. But, I mean, we kinda know where we're starting, where we're at.
And of course, those should be coming to us September as far as the actual design's concerned. So we'll see the design of the street signs in September to make sure that we approve.
I'll
all
try to
that.
have you, in that same meeting, I'll try to have you, on a proper time range, or if y'all approve, we can go right away.
Okay.
Those funds were actually, rolled from the last budget, they were appropriated from the last budget, rolled, so the money's sitting there waiting for y'all's go ahead.
Excellent. Very good. With that, of course, I would like streets to get a full-fledged plan on straightening out some of these signs. So as we're going around putting up new stuff, let's not forget to clean up the old stuff. I know that has been a request that we've asked repeatedly month after month. Hopefully with some of our newer, experienced staff, we can work on getting that actually done. What do you call it? And we also need to make some arrangements to have the parking lot signage conversation as well. So let's anticipate making our September work session that conversation about the leasing of spaces, and if Chip could go ahead and work on getting us a lease agreement together related to that project. We need to make sure that council is fully on board with getting that done, and make sure that our business owners are on board as well. Anything else related to our streets plans?
The gateway signs.
Gateway signs.
You know, we had a lot of, we picked out some really nice ones.
I think they are, we've got it on the, as far as the actual design is still about the same.
Design is ready to approve by the parents committee. We're gonna delay that until 2025, but do some other cost effectiveness. Go with the signage, street signage first,
Uh-huh.
and next year go with the beautiful signs.
Thank
They are
you.
really pretty. I tried to find that email to you if you hadn't seen it.
Well, do we want to see about actually approving the gateway signs in September as well? You think that's something we can get together?
You know, if you went ahead and approved it, is if funds were available this year or immediately July first, we could move forward with them, but you want to see those as well. Again, the parent commission very happy with it. Obviously, that is a modification because it's a pretty big sign, but we'll actually have you, the signs you can hold in your hand for sure.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and put that on the September agenda as well, so that if there's some tweaks that need to be made, we can go ahead and get
Work session or regular council.
that. Put both of the street signs and the gateway signs on regular session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Gary.
I know, well, I knew that, Ms. Walls has informed us that she's gonna put some no parking at the civic center signs also.
Mhm.
Stop people from parking on the sidewalks and on the bricks and stuff out front, so.
Very good. Very good. Anything else there? Perfect. Let's talk about sanitation. Got an update there?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna get behind the ladies. Don't keep them.
Oh, gosh.
Just want to give you a 30-day update. Obviously, we started July 1st, and it was a debacle again. I'm trying to hold anything back from you. The planning was not done very well, and we realized it very quickly. And we immediately started working on Plan B. Plan B is about halfway in place right now. Here's some of our major issues. 3-day route was not doable. Our mayor rode with, on the second week, I think it was.
Yes, sir.
He rode with, Mr. Cherry, the main sanitation worker, and he saw real quick, we're not getting this done. So, speaking with the work, we decided to go with a 4th day of trash pickup in some of our more heavily, used areas. 3rd week, I think the door hangers went out on those people that your days moved to Thursday, and that started immediately. As of now, I'd say as far as trash pickup, we're pretty much on schedule over these 4 days. One of the things that you would think wouldn't be a big deal, but it's become got that process worked out. We found out how important it is to put that can exactly where they want it.
Put it back where you got it from.
Very important. So, we're learning our customers. It is a new customer base. We never provide this service to these customers. So a lot of it is learning. Another big challenge we right now have is CDL drivers. We have 3 CDL drivers we need for every day to be able to do both yard waste, trash, and recycling. So that has become an issue. We had one coming September 1st. He's hired, ready to rock, but he won't be here till September 1st. So we are looking at that. So, I can't tell you today that every single day, all 4 services are getting done at every single yard it's supposed to be. But it's getting done during that week. We'll get better as we go. But we're not there yet. We're seeing major contamination in recycling. Kind of expected that. We've been very easy with code enforcement this first month. Give them, learning curve. That stops next week. Nikki again is, look at, some door, car tag, I guess you would call them, that would be attached to the cars for recycling contamination. They're color coded for what type of violation it is. So, first offense, contamination, is a, they couldn't do better. Second, it comes with a fine. Third, we can take the can away. So that will be enforced heavily. Also, overflow of cans, overuse of trash cans. We're gonna bring to y'all again in, September, ordinance, update on trash ordinance that's gonna require overuse, if they're tagged twice, overuse of, trash, overflowing trash, they're required to have a second card and pay that $25. So, I just wanna give you an update. I hope maybe not every month, but we're gonna do this till we get it perfect, because that's the goal, perfection. Dumpsters are going well. Reading is caught on to what we're looking. We've transferred over 4 apartment complexes to dumpsters, from cans to dumpsters. A little back push on that, but it's gonna work out neat. So that those customers, it is not a change at all in cost to the customer. It's just dumpster versus trash. And we're monitoring that, making sure they're not overflowing, that they be picked up twice or had a dumpster away. So,
Let me
Yes, sir.
cut in right there. And in fact, riding down River Road with Mr. Cherry, on River Road, there's a spot, you go around a curve and there were 8, maybe 9 cans on the side of River Road, pretty much in a ditch, so they're all leaning back, trash all over the ground. And this is in an apartment complex. Immediately, one of these areas, they changed to a dumpster. And of course, all the neighbors in the area are like, thank you. Because you come out of your house and you see all these cans, trash overflowing, sitting on the side of River Road and people zooming by. That's a gateway. And that's the type of thing that we're trying to avoid with this planning as far as dumpsters. So thank you.
That's a good thing.
Is
I can
the,
answer we.
Yes, I had a question. Exactly how are you gonna check for the recycled meat?
So at the beginning, she's gonna spot check.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
So she'll be spot checking. The drivers will be doing this. The drivers are keeping a list of, it's obvious. If the lid's closed, they really don't see what's in it until it comes up.
Right,
But if it's obvious, if the blue cans, lid's open, and there's trash bags, that's a done deal. But she will be spot checking even closed bags, closed boxes. But we don't really want our drivers doing that. We want them working on trash and our code enforcement doing that. But they will be keeping a list. And it's a lot easier for them to spot the overuse of trash cans because once they're empty, right?
right.
So, they will be keeping a list, especially of major violators. And I've told them, I said, hey, be easy. Someone might have a party once a year and they overflow it, that's not a big deal.
Christmas.
but if,
Right, Christmas, we like Christmas, but we won't ride any of that. Thanksgiving, same thing. But, I mean, we're gonna be courteous to our folks, but we want everybody to participate the right way. But it's these users that are over and over and over again.
I've seen those, it's every week.
We
Oh, yeah.
caught somebody this week, and they called and complained, I wouldn't say called, we monitor from here out, they called and complained that stuff was picked up. They were witness of, a food truck, pointing it out and putting food truck stuff back in, and so we didn't pick it up. So, you know, we're seeing a little bit of both sides.
That's right.
How, on the dumpsters, is there a certain date for these, guys come by when it's
So-
full?
Currently, it's Wednesday,
Okay,
but I see that maybe going differently as we add dumpsters. I'll tell you something cool that happened as far as somebody else messing up, and that's game. When GFL was through with service, they didn't know, I hope y'all listen. They didn't know who was their customer, who was our customer. So they just come to town picking people's trash cans up. Well, a lot of these commercial accounts were not Selma's customers, they were a private GFL customer. So we were, they don't got they didn't have phone number for GFL, they called town Selma, y'all took my cans. No, we didn't, but here's your solution, give the per town Selma brand new out there, so we gained a lot of customers like that. That we weren't planning on having, so that added time, obviously it added profit, because, you know, we're able to charge us those new customers, but it did add time to it. An issue that we had with, numbers, in our system, the housing authority was showing as one customer, because of the way they did. So, former employees counted that as one count, where it was hundreds, couple hundred.
Yeah, it's about
Wow.
almost 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, we overpurchased cans, because it didn't even matter. Yeah, I think we'll eventually have to get to a couple different days on dumpsters, which is a good thing.
So the Rudy went out and bought GL, they're on, we're not picking those up, right?
We'll be tomorrow. We switched them to town Selma today. They are a Selma customer.
Okay.
GFL still don't think they got any customers in Selma, even though they're signing those people up. So, Rudy was switched over to town Selma today.
Okay.
And, he explained to them how to work. They want, you know, 3 or 4 cans now, but in their busy season, they get 10, they're just gonna have to come in and change their account, and then they're dropping 8 cans as they need. So, again, somebody's lost our game.
Good stuff.
Sure is.
Any other questions on trash?
You guys are good eyes for us to misses or things in your neighborhood, you know, right around town. I get a lot of phone calls, keep them up, checks. And this place with me is, we're going to make mistakes. When we get perfect, we're still gonna make a couple mistakes here and there, but that's what I wanna get to, is it's being a rarity. But right now, I realize we are not doing what y'all asked us to do. We're going to get there, but, we need eyes and ears between me and Ken. We've got a new supervisor coming in September 1st, and, you know, we need to hear from y'all.
Let me take a moment to actually thank Mr. Ken Wall, because I've seen him out there in these streets taking care of some things that, you know, after digging a hole and fixing terracotta pipe, he's then checking out trash cans, so thank you, appreciate that. You guys keep working at it, we appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
And then, I believe that leads us to looking at an agenda. So, council, before you, you do have the agenda that we anticipate looking at on our August 8th meeting coming up on Tuesday. Not too much of, pretty straightforward stuff for the most part. Leanne, do we have anything to add?
Consent, the electricity code.
Yes, yes. So we do need to add an additional member, and I believe we have said that we're gonna put you on for the electricities board. So if we can certainly add that to the consent agenda as C. And I don't think that would be too much of an uproar. Anybody would not want Leanne messing with that? Anybody? You're good. If you wanna opt out, you let us know. Let's see here. Recognitions, presentations, nothing coming up there. We do have a, open forum citizens request coming from Dr. Ferez related to the incentive that we agreed to previously. I think he wants to make some adjustments to that incentive agreement, so he'll have that discussion with us, and we'll see how we feel about it, okay?
Mayor,
I see you working.
one thing on recognition of the presentation, if you look down to H in number 10, would you like to move that to 6?
Absolutely, absolutely, that's
So
excellent.
H, 10H, move to 6A.
And that is fire department promotions, that's some hoopla, that's certainly recognitions and presentations, so we'll have a party on that one, that's good, thank you, Chief, very good. Okay. 6A, yeah, recognitions, presentations, we'll be making that adjustment. Got a couple of public hearings, I guess to take this will be a mulligan from last month. Hopefully Carlton Square and Hickory Hills will have some representation in it. Perfect. Perfect. We are going to look at our town hall business hours. I know that we have mentioned the possibility of keeping the doors open throughout instead of having the door, at least for the lobby, locked for a period. So we will have that discussion and see where we want to go. Got a sports waiver to look at. We've got fee schedule, event fees and charges, all that to update. We are moving right along as we are working particularly on the revenue side when it comes to fees and fines. Insurance opt-out incentive, which I think is a fantastic idea. So for our employees that do have significant coverage from previous employers, previous agreements, that want to opt out of our health plan insurance through the town, that's certainly a savings to our employees and can be a savings to us as well. It's just common sense, so thank you for bringing that to us, Ms. Blanton. Yes,
I
ma'am.
wanted to ask about that. So we would pay employees to opt out, is that what we're,
Yes.
$125. Tell me why.
yeah, I'd like to know why.
So they would have to provide that they have coverage, but an example would be you have somebody that prior military and they retired, come to work here and they have coverage. They don't need our coverage, so they have asked, we've had multiple people that have come in and said, do you have an opt-out incentive? We don't, but basically that saves the town an amount of money, but it offers them that as an excess to their salary, an incentive to their salary, and you can do it, places that I work, you do it on a monthly basis, or you can do it as a stipend, you can do it a one-time payout. A lot of municipalities offer that, it's not only a cost savings to the organization, but it's an additional incentive for the employee.
It's called the classic win-win, particularly because that match piece is not mandatory for us.
I just wanna continue with this. If they have insurance and they don't need the town's insurance, and that's made clear, why do we give an individual $125 to opt out when they indeed have insurance?
Well,
I
when they
just
come
don't
in as an
understand that.
employee only, if they do not have anybody else that they cover, they're automatically covered by our insurance. We have none
Right.
who opt out right now. So that costs the town every pay period, no
Mhm,
matter what. So
mhm.
in this incentive, you would take out what we pay and give part of that to the employee. So it's a 50-50 split, it's a cost savings for the town and a cost savings for them. I mean, it gives the incentive for the employee not to use our insurance.
Otherwise, if you did not have that incentive, there would be no reason on earth somebody would hop out of having the extra health.
Because they're gonna take it. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had multiple employees that come in and they have TRICARE if they're retired
If
military.
military,
But because it's free to them as an employee only, they're gonna take it.
Yeah.
But that is a hefty cost to the town per pay period.
it is a
They're only-
secondary
but they
cost,
really
it's a
don't
secondary
need-
insurance.
And a lot of the
They're using
time-
our full coverage,
Yeah.
their secondary, and a full coverage price, which is $8,584 a year,
Yeah.
for us as
and
a
we wouldn't be
town.
spending.
And again, if there's no incentive to opt out, why on earth would you opt out?
And a lot of
No
times
reason
when you
to.
go through and you have an audit, I'll give you a prior example, we had a you have, but if you are retiring from a municipality or a local government, you carry Blue Cross, he can throw up a flag for our insurance that they have another policy, and it should really be their primary policy, but they're using the secondary and keeping our insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a one-time thing.
Well, I mean, they would have to opt into it every year and prove that they still have coverage. So it would be something that they would go through an open enrollment, just like they do when they go over and sign up for our insurance each year. They would have to go opt out of it and show us proof, and the board would have to prove it in the budget each year for them to be able to receive that incentive.
Hold it, so we're looking at an incentive of $125 yearly
Well, it's a pay, this would be a pay period.
Per
per, that's yearly. And in your,
Yeah,
open
in addition
enrollment.
to your salary.
So every year, if I tell you I don't need it,
You have
then
to show me proof that you have insurance.
I show you
Understood.
proof, but in turn, you're gonna give me $125 because I showed you.
But it's gonna save us,
How much?
what, 4,000?
So the benefit of that is, let's say you have a police officer, and he's interviewed with the town of Smithfield, and they're often here, opt-out insurance, he's retired from the military. Our salary is $3,000 less, but we can give him that opt-out, and it's gonna give him $3,200 a year. He may possibly come here because our salary is competitive with their salary because of that $3,000, because he doesn't need insurance, he has Tri-Care.
And we save that
And we
3,000
save-
plus.
Yeah.
The town says the
We say-
3,000 plus.
No.
He's just getting $125 a year when he
No,
proves.
no, it's $125 per pay period. So he'd be getting 3,000 and some change a year.
Oh, you mean if well, most police I assume are paid every 2
So,
weeks.
so how it works is not only do they contribute toward their health insurance with the payout of their paycheck, then we have to match it. So if they opt out, we don't have that match, and then we can give them the incentive of what they'd have to pay. And so they'd get that extra $3,000 as an incentive to opt out and save us money.
I don't see it.
I can bring you, I mean,
I would say-
This, okay, this is like me, I'm military,
Mm-hmm.
and I can go to the VA, it don't cost me a penny. But I choose to keep a local physician, because there's some things through the military that's saved me money, it would cost more in the private sector, but it's our military, so I could go with just plain military and don't have any kind of insurance from the government whatsoever, on the side. I can just strictly VA, Tri-Care, for everything I need. If I had to put
And
it
the
down.
point is to save the taxpayer dollar, is what it boils down to. Again, if you don't have the incentive to opt out, there's no reason to opt out, and they can just get the double coverage, and we would still have to pay the match.
So every pay period,
Yeah.
if
I
you're,
can bring you a breakdown of what it looks like for the employee, for an employee that opts out, what they would receive versus the cost to the town and what the cost savings would be and incentive for them.
Yeah,
I see that in writing.
I'd love to see in writing what an individual, are we talking, $250 a month that is added to this individual's paycheck?
$125, 26 times a year, which is $3,200 total for an annual salary.
But what we're saying is again, if they are part of the health insurance, we also have to pay the match as a town. You understand? So if they're not on the health insurance, we can pay them that piece and save ourselves money at the end of the day.
So for me, you're paying me $8,500 a year for every employee in town to have insurance.
Right.
If I opt out, and I'm not one of those people, but if the gentleman.
If it was you.
from Public Works, one of these gentlemen, he has, previous insurance that he's found, we would be paying now $3,500 a year, $3,250 versus $8,500 a year.
Okay.
So that 32.
So we're saving
goes to him as an
A
incentive.
little over half of what we're paying out by doing this, but if you
So if it was a new year, how many you think would take the whole of that and run with it now?
Well, I mean, since I've been here, employees that I've hired, I've had 4 that would have opted out. So that would have been a cost savings of over $20,000.
So at the end of the day, council, the way you have to think of it is taxpayer dollars going out. This is what it boils down to. I don't care about giving anybody incentive, I care about saving the taxpayer dollar.
Right.
Yeah, it's
the
simple
bottom
enough.
line.
I guess on my team, we have a guy in the military. Well, he uses the state's insurance. TRICARE is secondary.
Yep.
And they would have that option if they had I don't know what levels TRICARE has, but there also there's different levels of different insurance. They don't have to opt out. If they would decide to say, look, I need health insurance for whatever reason, I got a bad heart or what have you.
Yeah.
And Selma's is better than what I currently have, we can still run like that. It's not making them take anything away.
Right.
But most people have a pretty good insurance, if they're happy with their insurance, this just gives them that option and saves us money and save it puts money in their pocket.
I'm okay, I just like to see the breakdown, so if I get questioned, I've got the right answer to give,
Absolutely,
so.
absolutely.
Thank y'all very much.
The accounting supervisor job description. So as we're working on adjusting our staff for the current needs, this is an update to position in our finance department. We've got the position control update, and that would be, of course, related to previous supervisor job descriptions. And then we've got a proposed civic center logo. Hey, I hadn't even looked at that yet. It's not bad.
She said it's elegant.
It is elegant.
Before she-
How much can we add to the price to rent the civic center? Because that's elegant. It's nice. Very nice. And then we've moved H up to recognitions and presentations. Do we have anything that we know of from Chip that will be an open?
Not that I'm aware of.
Actually, we do need to add, go ahead and put that special use permit in open, because we do need to discuss that in open and make sure that he gets clear direction on what needs to be done.
I think everything else he has seen, seemed like it was fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we certainly have some things to discuss as far as Councilman McKay is concerned. We got a discussion about an application process related to that as well. Council, is there anything else that we need to add to the end as far as our reports, recommendations, conversations that need to be had?
I'm good.
Good to go. Looks like we have a pretty nicely shaped up agenda here. Ms. Wall, just to make sure I'm clear, we're not gonna have anything from the Appearance Commission to discuss at this meeting, correct? Perfect, thank you. All right,
So, just one quick question.
absolutely.
When we gonna get some reports from the, code inspector?
Fantastic, I sent that to you today.
Keep something.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
Good timing, bud. My
You
man.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. It's in there today.
Yeah, I got it.
I
She
understand.
did mention that if you would like that added to, some of the other towns in the area, they added to their consent.
Mhm.
She gives something to the clerk, so if you want that.
That would be
added.
great. Or in fact,
It will probably be a month behind for you guys the way it comes to this.
absolutely.
If you'll notice this report, that Mayor sent out today, we got them to add a few things, I think, request for, they got dates of when they were open and closed. They're still color coded red, green, and also, I don't know about y'all, but I had a hard time with all the acronyms and the abbreviations.
Yeah.
So at the bottom there's a link that tells you JV and MV and what they stand for. So, I think if y'all are happy with this, please let me know, because we want to put this on the website as well for the public to see. But I just want to put it out there to us, what y'all expect.
The
So see feedback.
do need to have a conversation with, Red Lizard, our IT team, about making those reports available in teams. I know that there was something mentioned about an ability to work well with outside sources, but a little bit of brain power, we should be able to get past that. Okay. Anything else, council?
Not for me.
I'm gonna ask Ms. Blanchard a question quick. When you put these reports out, when is it available for these public to see?
As soon as I get the okay and there's no additions, I publish it, it should be out the same day.
Okay, cause I've got 3 people said, I got it and I can't look at it.
Yeah, I don't really know. I know, Mr. Hamilton, Rudy had reached out today asking, I'm not real sure when I went out there, it was, and I think we had, somebody had reached out to fill it last week, and we can click on it, so I don't know if it's something.
And, you know, to respond to that, that's almost a function of us being a little spoiled about the ability to go on a website and click on something. If you really want an agenda, call somebody and we can email it to you all day long. And now, if we're just complaining to be complaining, cut it out.
We haven't found any of those to be accurate.
It could be the user, you know. I have people like that too.
Everyone that we found.
I can't see it.
But look, guys,
don't know
if you
why.
desperately want an agenda at any point in time and you don't have my phone number, you feel free to hunt it down. I don't like complaints just whispering out in the ether because you want to whine about something. If you want something, you get it, plain and simple. All right?
Just
Those
pick up the
silly
telephone.
questions about nothing. All right? Anything else? I think we need to go into closed session. We got a little bit of chit chat to do. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Second it.
Give that second to Councilwoman Whitley. All those in favor?
Uh,
We're going into closed session, gang. Thank you.